Corinthians chapter 2, verse 11, lest Satan should get an advantage of us, for we are not ignorant of his devices. All praises, honor, and glory to our power, Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shah, Bahasham, Rachak, Wadash. Double honors to the apostles, the bishops, and the elders of Great Millstone. Peace and blessings to the hopeful elect of the tabernacles of David, scattered throughout the four corners of the earth, wherever you may be, wherever you may be, to you I say, Shalom, Yahshua, Shalom. All right, the name of the word Satan in the Hebrew is Shaitan, which means adversary, to get an advantage of. Okay, it means to put one over on you, pretty much. Okay, get the upper hand. For we are not ignorant. Ignorant means to not know something. So we're not ignorant of his devices. Okay, and we get the word devices here. Noema, in mental perception, thought, look, in evil purpose. Okay, that which thinks, the mind, thoughts, or purposes. Okay, and his technology has just that, evil purposes. And one of the words that you hear pop up, as a matter of fact, let's do this, is convenience. Okay, let's see if we can go over here, pull up a couple questions. Actually, probably could have just got it from the Google, but maybe we'll need to use it again. So define the word convenience. Here it is. The word convenience generally refers to the quality of being suitable or opportune, or the state of being free from difficulty, effort, or discomfort, you see. And that's what Esau's trying to do. He's so-called trying to ease your pain from the left-hand side, okay? See, now the scriptures speak opposite of, now this is directed towards the Israelites, which all messages are, but the scriptures speaking about patience, okay? Which patience does mean that you have to wait on the Lord, but patience also goes into sufferings, your trials, your tribulations, the things that you face in your everyday life, the things that you're going to face, all right, during Jacob's trouble, all right, all the testing of your faith. Okay, so the scriptures speak of patience, and suffering and things of that nature. And he says, and the Lord says that if he chastises you, he deals with you as sons. It's kind of roughly paraphrasing. But here you have Esau on the left hand side. He's saying that, hey, I can free up difficulty for you. Okay, I can free you from discomfort and things of that nature. Says, and that's why you always hear this key word here, convenience. It implies something that makes light. There you go, right there. Light it up. All right, light it up. It implies something that makes life easier or more comfortable. See, often by saving time or effort. And of course, this is not one of those particular videos, but it's in the realm of things. This is an AI chat. And so ultimately, when you read this portion here of the definition, what's the ultimate convenience? Okay, what's the ultimate ease of pain and making things more simple with less effort? It's you getting implanted with his device. And then at the wave of a hand, okay, you can do this, you can do that. They're trying to they're marketing it to you. Oh, say you get into a car accident, you've been out 2 days or whatever, so the doctor can come in and just scan your hand and all your medical history will pop up, and then we'll know you that you're not a John or Jane Doe, and we'll know about this. We'll know if you have any symptoms, or if you're allergic to this, allergic to that. So now we don't have to wait until you wake up to actually try to give you help, because if we do something that hurts you, we're going to be sued or whatever. So we'll know exactly what your medical history is without you waking up, and then we jumped the gun on helping you. Hey, so nice, right? So that's what they want you to think, which I mean, in all honesty, things like that are convenient. But as we always say, doesn't matter how simple or how convenient or how helpful Esau's devices and his technology are. It's the reason behind why he has these things, the reason about why he's creating these things. Okay, and that's why the scriptures say, "Never trust thine enemy, so as iron rusted, so is his wickedness." And at the end, he will declare his wickedness, and that wickedness, the ultimate wickedness, is to take control of everyone in the earth, right, by implanting him or her or babies, him and her, with his devices. Um, Well, it's just that other paragraph, so we'll read it. That's why I keep that lit up, because we might read it again before we go back. If I can get it. Okay, so you can see that right there. So it says the concept of convenience is often associated with products, services, or processes designed to minimize obstacles and um, maximize ease of use. For example, a convenience store offers quick access to essential items, and convenience food is prepared to save. Convenience food, right? Fast food, okay? Everything fast, right? Because that's what they just use. They're not saying fast food. They're calling it convenience food. It's to play off of they want to tap into your emotions, right? First, we attack the heart. Your heart is your mind, okay? They play off your emotions, and then they do these PR campaigns, or they'll make these emotional videos about Rodney with ALS, and oh, this person can do that, or I feel like I was so disconnected from the world, and this device is giving me my life back. All right, that's a play on your emotions as well, because it makes you sympathize with the person or the device itself, okay? And then if you're in need of it, or you know someone's close to you are in need of it, you're going to want to go and seek the thing out. See? For example, a convenience store offers quick access to essential items, and convenience food is prepared to save cooking time. The pursuit of convenience is a significant driver in consumer behavior and technological innovation. And that's the problem, all right? Everything convenience, everything quick, 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 fast. And that comes from Esau. When you go back to Genesis the 25th chapter, man. Yeah, you can't make that one up, man. Oh, we're about to die. I always laugh because he's supposed to be this cunning hunter, right? Cunning hunter of all things. But this guy couldn't catch no food that day. Okay, you know that was the Lord doing that. The cunning hunter, but he couldn't catch no food. Now he come back hungry. He mad as hell. He's sweating. All right, he angry. Hey, let me get some of that food, bro. Okay, bet, but you know what's up with that birthright? Oh, hey, what birthright? Swell birthright, man. What good is that gonna do to me? I'm about to die. Give me some of that fast food. I'm sorry, convenience food. And he made him swear by it. And he hated his birthright. And then later on, he hated his brother, cause also of the blessing that he received. See, hey, you can't make it up. It goes right back to the scriptures, man. So it says convenience, right? It implies something that makes life easier or more comfortable, often by saving time or effort. So there you go. Lest Satan should get an advantage of us if we're not ignorant of his devices. Now, let's jump into right over here, okay? Because we're gonna play two videos. One's 10 minutes long. I haven't watched the second video that's 10 minutes long yet, so we're gonna watch it together. As far as the first video I did watch, there's not really much to talk about, because we've already spoken on that in the previous video about because she mentions also the China making the robots that can get pregnant, or not pregnant, but I mean you can call it get pregnant, but really house a child, and birth a child, okay? And like I said last time, is going to be very interesting to see exactly where they go with that, depending on how fast they develop develop that technology and whatnot. Okay, so it'd be kind of interesting to see where they go with that one. But we're just gonna play the first video. It's only like three maybe 3.5 minutes long, and then the next video is 10 minutes, which I haven't watched. So we're gonna see what's up with it.
When a machine takes over care for the old, the sick, the lonely, is it compassion or convenience? Robots can simulate empathy, but can they replace the human bond that defines care? Now, if our companion is a robot, then how will we relate to one another? These are just a few of the questions we need to ask ourselves.
Robots used to live in sci-fi novels and shows like Star Trek. Then they became industrial muscle, tightening bolts, stacking boxes. Now they're edging into roles that define humanity. As caregivers, teachers, companions, even surrogate mothers.
So there you go. They're now entering roles that pretty much define humans. Okay, they're making robots to do things that human beings would do, and then you actually have a small community of people who actually seek out these things from these robots. All right, surrogate can't even call the damn robot a mother, but just to make the point, surrogate mother robots. Okay. You got people who want these sex robots. You have toys, dogs, like for your children, ones that'll talk to them, play to them. I think there was one time they were talking about making like babies like that. What did they say? He said teachers, and something else. But you get the point, though. All right, they're creating robots to do all the things that human beings, you know, do. Okay, not would do, but can and do does do. Right. Okay. And so, it goes back, it makes me go back to that statement that Klaus Schwab made, all right, when he spoke about making a fusion of man and machine. Okay. So not only are they wanting to take humanity, the Lord's creation, and fuse it, like you see a lot of the sci-fi movies like that, okay, where people have uh, 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 um, robotic parts installed, or someone is there's so different movies. There's a couple of pop up right now. One of them being which it comes from an anime and a manga, but Ghost in the Shell. Okay, where you see people like humanoid, and that's what they want to do in real life to humans. And then aside from that, they're actually creating robots to do the things that humans do. So how crazy is that? They want to turn people into the robots, and the robots into humans. Okay, and so that's the mind of a devil, one who's rebellious against the Most High power. And it says that in Revelation 18. Okay, which we were speaking on America in particular, but I'm just using that scripture to make a point where it says, "Give unto her double for her sins that reach unto heaven." Okay, but that's the devil for you, man. Okay, let's keep going.
The unsettling questions aren't about capability, they're about consent. Next year, a startup plans to roll out what it calls a gestation robot, a humanoid with an artificial womb designed to carry and deliver a baby. But without a human mother, there will be no maternal bond and no emotional connection in the womb. Psychologists warn that stripping pregnancy down to mechanics could warp human development.
And yeah, it says there's going to be no maternal connection, absolutely, because there's no women involved. There's no, and I'm gonna get something real quick. Just it's not exactly on the point of what he was speaking on, but it's still in the realm of things. I'm gonna go to Genesis 3 real quick. So, yep, here we go. It says, Genesis 3:16, unto the woman he said, I will greatly multiply thy sorrow in thy conception. Okay, where there is harayawan, physical conception, pregnancy. Okay, I will multiply the pain that you have. Okay, when you're giving childbirth. Most women don't even know that this is in the Bible. Excuse me, leading back to Eve. Okay, dealing with that man in the garden, that old serpent. Okay, part of her curse that will come upon her is that conception and childbearing, and that she. Let's just read it. Okay, I will greatly multiply thy sorrow in thy conception. In sorrow thou shalt bring forth children, and thy desire shall be to thy husband, and he shall rule over thee. Okay, rule. I'm trying to have to go into that topic because it's going off. All right, mashal, to rule, have dominion, reign, to cause to rule, to exercise dominion over. And these women are out of order. You can clearly see that today. They are definitely out of order. Okay, because they think they're men, they think they're greater than men, especially when you go to a certain job. They might have a higher position, they talk shit, they boss you around, they threaten your job, which is your livelihood, and all kinds of madness, and they think highly of themselves because they have a higher position than you, and they look down on you, and they treat a man like crap. More so an Israelite man, okay? But you get the point. That's another topic there. So let's see what it reads in another translation. To the woman he said, I will greatly multiply your pain in childbirth. That's straightforward right there. In pain you will give birth to children, yet your desire and longing will be for your husband, and he will rule with authority over you and be responsible for you. You see, because women are like grown little girls. Okay, they never truly, like they always need someone to guide them. In other words, okay. They're like little girls, but in grown women's bodies. Okay, and they need to be guided because they think with their emotions, all right, not thinking more logical and with reason. Okay, they think and move off of their emotions. Okay, and they actually think they're clever, and they're not really clever at all. They could be deceptive, but deceptive is not the same as clever. Let's go back over here and get back on point. And by the way, it's not about women, but so what? Okay. I mean, we talk about, the Israelite man all the time, all right? But the women are not innocent. Like, the problem is just the Israelite man and the women are just waiting for the kingdom to come. No, absolutely not. Okay.
Critics fear a future where childbirth is engineered like assembly line production. The promise, perfect deliveries, free of risk. The cost, maybe the humanity of birth itself.
You heard the cost, maybe the birth of humanity itself.
Elderly care robots like Abby also raise uncomfortable questions. Abby chats, plays games, offers companionship.
Now, immediately, what do you think of iRobot? Okay, the Jetsons, where you have Rosie the robot, that was their maid. Okay, and that thing reminds you of Rosie the robot. And then you think of iRobot because when you start the early portions of the movie, the robots are in everybody's home, okay, helping people do this, do this, do that. And then the new version came out, and so the old ones got put out to the shipping containers. The new ones came in, all right, and which ultimately, we watched the movie, find out it was Vicky. I'm not gonna tell you if you haven't seen it. The movie's old, but still, if you haven't seen it, I'm not gonna tell you. Just go watch it. But they basically end up under the control of Vicky. And so those new robots ended up turning on people, all right? So, stay in your home. Oh, you can't do this. You can't do that. Oh, you blah, 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 But you get the point, especially if you've seen the movie, you know exactly what I'm talking about. And if you haven't, just go watch it.
But can a machine, no matter how friendly, deliver compassion or just a facsimile of it? Abby could be a lifeline for some. For others, it's the dystopian future nobody asked for.
See, and that's again them playing on your emotions. Could be a lifeline for some, because you got two elderly folk, and one dies, okay, and the other one, they'll die from pain and grief, right? The suffering of losing that loved one, because maybe that was their only companion in the world. And so they're saying that, hey, we're gonna get this robot to replace that companionship, of loss. And I'm saying that's the case here. Just giving an example, okay? It actually reminds me of something that we always talk about, where they have the digital necromancy, I call it, where someone's passed away and you connected with them on Facebook or something like that. And so even though the person is long passed away, you're still chatting with this person because it's AI technology that's taking over this person's way that they think, and responses and jokes and their whole mannerisms, and they're conversing with you in a conversation as if it's your dead loved one. That's digital necromancy, and what makes it so slick is that you're doing it without knowing. The people that would involve themselves with that, they're actually doing necromancy without knowing that they're doing necromancy because it's done digitally and they're just looking for comfort. Oh, I miss my loved one. I miss my Uncle Charles. Y'all, he should have been gone. Friend of his home. So yeah, so they're doing digital necromancy, and they don't even know it. And that's the most deceptive part coming from Esau. But what do? Going back to that word we mentioned, they offer up convenience. Okay, they play on your emotions, and then you fall right into the trap. Let's keep going.
Future in which the elderly, abandoned by families, have to find companionship in machines.
See? So, and that's why they're trying to show you some old lady in the nursing home, because you have a lot that live like that. Some of them in nursing homes. Some of them live in assisted, communities. Some of them are actually like, neighborhoods. Other ones are actual buildings where everybody lives in a single building. But you get the point.
Ria looks like the future dressed in synthetic skin. She can talk, respond, even mirror emotions. She's marketed as a panacea for isolation. Can we really trust a programmed response to replace human connection? More importantly, if we start to believe it, what does that say about us?
And what happens when they start to make it look so realistic that you can't tell it's a robot versus an actual woman? It looks realistic. You can't tell the difference. It moves fluid just like a real person. and you can't tell the difference. Okay, somebody will fall for it. It'd be some crazy Chinaman who will fall for it, find out it's a robot, and you know what he'll do? He'll still marry the thing. Okay.
In China, a humanoid robot has enrolled in a PhD program in drama and film. Another bot, Captcha, teaches students in Germany. On the surface, it's a quirky milestone or maybe a PR stunt. When robots stop being teaching tools and start becoming teachers, then the line between learning and simulation starts to blur. Ida is a humanoid artist who paints, sculpts, and writes poetry. Her work hangs in museums and has even been shown at the UN.
Hey, they do that now as far as writing. a rapper robot, okay? AI robot, I don't know what to call that, but you get it. Okay, writing rap songs, all right? Hey, Chat GPT is not rap, but Chat GPT is controlled, by someone that's being programmed. I mean, it's all in the realm of things.
Is her work genius or just regurgitation of human art by an LLM brain? When a machine creates, it doesn't just challenge the art world, it confronts the very idea of creativity. Finally, the story isn't about what robots can do, it's about what we're willing to let them replace. The question is no longer technical, it's existential. How much humanity are we prepared to trade for convenience?
That was a key thing that I heard, out of that particular clip. How much of humanity are we willing to trade for a convenience? And that's why we went to that. Well, let's go back to convenience there. It implies something that makes life easier or more comfortable, often by saving time or effort. Okay, where in the top it says it generally refers to the quality of being suitable or opportune, or the state of being free from difficulty, effort, or discomfort. See, so let's see what the second video has for us, because I haven't watched that one yet.
Robots stepping into our shoes, teaching children, caring for the elderly, even acting as companions. Now, this isn't science fiction anymore.
Maybe this was actually part of the same video, but maybe it's longer, because that's the same opening right there, if I'm correct. It's probably, let's see what's in here. It might be the same video, but the whole one, I guess.
Enjoyment. The question is not whether machines can mimic empathy, but whether that's what we want for ourselves.
Okay, it's starting out different.
For centuries, we've defined ourselves by what we do. An artist, a chef, a surgeon, a teacher, these were our domains, our unique skills. But it looks like all this is about to change. Maybe not now, but probably might in the future. And who's to be blamed for this? Well, it's robots. Robots are no longer restricted to assembly lines. They are stepping into the kitchen, onto a musical stage, and even inside a labor room. They may not be masters yet, but they are learning fast. In a scene straight out of the Hollywood movie The Matrix, scientists in China are reportedly developing the world's first gestation robot that could potentially carry a fetus to term and give birth to a baby. The humanoid robot would reportedly have an artificial womb filled with artificial amniotic fluid, providing the fetus with everything it needs, such as essential nutrients and oxygen. It will also help regulate the optimum temperature inside the womb, simulating a natural pregnancy. Being developed by Kaiwa Technology, a Guangdong...
And that's the problem right there. It's only simulating, natural pregnancy, because it's a machine. So yeah, of course you can adjust the temperatures. But if you want to make it freezing cold inside there, you could do that. So, adjusting the temperatures, and it's not like they haven't done the study, because they got all kinds of technology to, check out a woman's womb and stuff like that during pregnancy. All these different, monogram, sonogram, whatever the hell you call it, things, okay? And all this kind of stuff like that. So all you got to do is just incorporate it into their robot, and they're able to, regulate this, do that, okay? Just like a normal pregnancy. It's just it's done inside a machine. I'm curious of how they actually, how does the beginning process start, all right? are they implanting the embryo, or I mean, like, because you can't take the baby from out of the woman and then put it into the robot. Once it's in the woman's womb, it's in the woman's womb. So, like, I mean, like, I don't know. Like, so they're taking like the sperm and the egg, and how they do it, and I don't know. It's just, and then it starts from the robot. I mean, it's an interesting topic, man. Okay.
Joe-based tech company. A pregnant robot prototype is expected to hit the market next year and will reportedly cost $14,000.
Okay, so these are some of the same ones.
Meet Captcha, an AI-powered robot teacher from Germany.
My name is Captcha, and my appearance, as for what I look like, I have a human face and an organic-shaped plastic body with metal parts inside. I'm here to share my thoughts and experiences in AI and robotics with you.
Captcha holds the view that learning should not be confined to textbooks alone. It believes that students learn best by regularly engaging in discussion. But can robots replace teachers? Not so fast. Students say Captcha is great at facts but lacks the warmth of human educators.
Sehr spannend von einer künstlichen.
Very exciting to be assessed by an artificial intelligence after the discussions. There was a bit of a lack of personal contact, but the arguments were all very solid.
Sehr valide.
Experiments like these give a glimpse into what the future
It's basically like Chat GPT in real life. That's all it is. Okay, ask it a question, it gives you an answer. Okay, and you can converse in it, with conversation. Okay.
of education could look like in the days to come.
Yeah, most of these are the same ones. So it's just an extended video, but it's okay.
Standing tall at just 3.6 feet, a humanoid robot named Abby is giving the elderly people what they need the most: love and care. With a vibrant purple, pink, and orange exterior and an empathetic, childlike personality, Abby is helping combat loneliness among elderly residents.
And you notice how they made it a little tiny robot. It's almost like they're trying to say, we're going to give it the feel of a grandchild, okay? Because grandparents love their grandchildren, right? Well, most of them do. Okay, so we're going to give it the feel of a grandchild, okay, coming to see grandma or grandpa.
In Australian aged care facilities.
Or do you just appreciate a bit of razzle-dazzle in your day?
Look, we got a bubble blower. I was wondering what that little thing was, looking like Mega Man.
Developed by Melbourne-based startup Andromeda Robotics. Abby can recognize faces, recall past interactions, and converse in 90 languages. Abby
Look at these things' eyes, man. It looks creepy.
can also sing, dance, and perform activities like Tai Chi.
In aged care alone, there's 4 out of 10 people who will just never receive a visitor from friends or family ever. So 4 out of 10 people residing in aged care will spend day after day in the same 4 walls until they pass away. And so for us, like, the feedback that we've heard is that Abby's she is not just what she can do, it's the fact that she is the most consistent visitor that most people have at that later stage in life. And so a lot of moments that they would be spending alone, feeling quite sad or miserable by themselves, is now replaced with a really delightful interaction with Abby that really means the world to them.
Abby also has a unique party trick up her sleeve. She can blow bubbles from one of its arms.
I think the reason we gave Abby bubbles is because it's so indicative of like who she is. Like she's an incredibly like complex piece of technology, but she's also just very creative and playful and fun.
And it's the grandchild.
Abby is all set to welcome its new cousin robot, Gabi, short for Genesis Abby, this September.
Genesis Abby. Rehabilitation robot.
In Scotland's capital, robots are taking on a life-changing role in the field of medical rehabilitation. At the National Roboterium, a new breed of robotic coaches is helping stroke survivors regain their independence through targeted physical therapy. These robots, known as NOW, are small, friendly-looking machines designed to aid in upper limb rehabilitation. Lightweight and easy to maintain, they interact with patients in a way that is both motivating and non-intimidating. But how do these robots help? Well, a brain-computer interface, or BCI, is attached to the patient that detects their brain activity as they attempt to move.
And that's what we've been talking about when we're covering Neuralink and Synchron. All right, so right in that ballpark there. This isn't as complicated or complex as those, but still it's the same thing.
The BCI translates these signals into commands which are sent to the robot. The robot then mimics the intended movement, lifting its arm in sync with the patient to create a sense of shared exercise.
What we found is the once the patient realizes that they are in fact controlling the robot, it gives them a sense of control, but it also gives them a sense that the robot is exercising along with them, as if you were exercising with a partner. You see they start to move, you start to move in conjunction with them.
With around 80% of acute stroke survivors struggling with our movement, these robots offer a new way to tackle rehabilitation, a way that's more engaging than traditional methods.
Oh boy.
In the mood for some coffee? Well, why not get a robot to brew you one? This is Barista, a robot that's not only an expert coffee maker, but also has the smarts to recognize objects and navigate its surroundings. Although the robot...
And yeah, they even had one, the funny looking thing, like a waitress, okay, like a robot waitress, okay, serving people food and drinks and stuff like that, okay. No person's waiting on you now, it's a robot. Probably taking orders too, I can't remember that much. But, you know, I mean, if it's a machine, yeah, listen to your response, record it, okay, with no mistakes. And if you change, it'll be immediately made. Oh, I think there was an incident like that with the drive-thru, okay? Which, well, you don't go there anyways, but, you know, like something like a McDonald's, okay? The first thing you hear is a recorded, you know, voice. It'll be a guy or a girl. Hi, welcome to such and such, you know, da-da-da-da-da, you know, and then next thing you know, a whole other voice will pop up because it's the actual person. Okay, like, would you like to try this and this and that? And then people be responding like, no, thank you. And then the real person pop up. You know, it wasn't that person that you were talking to. It was, you know. But I was going to the point where I think there was like a restaurant. I don't remember where it was. But like, a, you know, robot just, you know, taking orders. I think there was supposed to be an automated McDonald's somewhere. I believe that might have been across seas, but it fully automated. It could be in here. Not sure if it's actually up and standing and running or whatever. But a fully automatic McDonald's or restaurant in general, where there's no employees back there flipping the burgers, cleaning the grill, cleaning the grease traps. Okay, I mean, you got to empty the trash and stuff like that. But mostly it was centered around making of the food, and it was just, you know, fully automated with robots making the food. So it's what we mentioned before in the first video. They're trying to make humans be the robots, okay, and connect you to a virtual world and, you know, this false reality, BCIs, UBIs, and, you know, the social credit scoring system and stuff like that. And then they're trying to take the actual robots and make them the humans, man. But that's Esau, man. Okay, he's backwards.
It's not as fast as the human barista at the moment. The company says it is working on a model that will be faster and be able to work longer hours than human baristas.
So you see, and that's any category when you're talking about robots, man. Companies, all right, you know, it could be Amazon, it could be any place, okay, which that's happening, all right. Robots are taking people's jobs because robots don't need to take breaks, all right. They're not going to get sleepy, they get tired and stuff like that, and if one has the reprogram or maintenance or whatever, you just bring another one in from the back that works properly. Then you got all the time in the world to work on that one, make sure it's working properly. You know, put that in storage place somewhere, okay, until another one breaks down, and then you can bring another one out, and then they're always constantly going. So a robot is replacing robot, but a robot is always working. So it's 24 hours where you know, and even then, you know, it's them taking jobs from people because you have that morning shift, you have the midday shift or night shift or whatever, and then you have the overnight shift. But they're saying like, you know, we'll just completely take the people out of it because they're a liability. You know, they can sue us for whatever. All right, they need pregnancy leave and all this kind of stuff. Let's just put robots in around the clock, and they don't need anything. They just need to be oiled up and ready to go. Musical robots.
When you think of a concert, you probably picture a human band. But at the recently concluded World Humanoid Robot Games in China, a live robot band stole the show, captivating the crowd with its incredible music.
Oh, bro. Sound like Satan about to pop up.
This 5-robot ensemble, complete with keyboardist, a lead guitarist, a drummer, and a rhythm and bass guitarist, didn't need sheet music. Instead, thanks to their shared computing brain and AI, the band was able to analyze notes and perform music in real time.
我们的2个吉他手和贝斯手目前是采用这种全品格覆盖的气缸去按压实现和弦弹奏的。那么2个稍微有一些拟人化去演奏的键盘手和鼓手，他们也是相对于正常的人类呢是多一些手指跟手臂的。那么未来呢，我们希望加大这种单手臂拟人化手臂的一个开发，实现这种快速的互动以及快速的一个按压，加入了这种 AI 对话的一个功能，加入到每个机器人。那么我们就可以跟每个机器人去进行一个语音的交互。
They are not the only musical robots making headlines. In 2024, a cello robot made history when it performed alongside a symphony orchestra, a feat believed to be the first of its kind.
The robot arms has another anatomic structure than the human body and the human hands, which of course make me look at the cello in another way. Because suddenly there are like a lot of ways to play the cellos that I didn't think about before, because the preconditions of the human anatomy.
No, you just ain't ran into no cello playing Israelite master. That's what it is. But they rather listen to a robot because it did things on the cello I never knew. Okay, but we're the salt of the earth. Don't the scripture say that? We're the salt of the earth, and the salt had lost its savor. Okay, well, what's the I mean, these people though, okay?
So suddenly, the cello has become another instrument for me thanks to this robot.
Currently, this cello robot doesn't use AI, but its creators are exploring ways to make it a key part of future designs.
And that's pretty much the end of that video. Can't really think of any scriptures I might want to grab. At least one, maybe. I'm not really sure. Oh yeah, let's get that. As a matter of fact, let's get that one too. We can get over there. Okay, yeah. Let me go and get this first. Daniel 12. All right. It says, "But thou, O Daniel, shut up the words and seal the book, even to the time of the end. Many shall run to and fro, and knowledge shall be increased." Get the word increased here. To be or become great, be or become many, be or become much, be or become numerous. Okay, to become many, become numerous, multiply of people, animals, things. See, to increase greatly. See, most of these are the same. All right, and the word for knowledge. Knowledge, perception, skill, discernment, understanding, wisdom. All right, which goes back to the word Yedai, which means to know. So yeah, and what's increasing at least on the left hand side is Esau and his technology, and we see the things that he's trying to do with it. And not everything's Esau, because some things like China and stuff like that, other places, other people. But we mostly see it with Esau, and I guess second to that would probably be China and places like Japan. Okay, but the point is, the left-hand side has increased its knowledge because it all falls into prophecy, because they have to complete a mission on the left-hand side, which is to bring everything to a digital system, attempt to usher in that digital age. And the main thing of that is the micro C-hip, and along with the micro C-hip comes their brain C-hips as well. Okay, and there's one more with Graph, which is a perfect one to end it on. Here it is right here. Okay, Matthew 24:22, and except those days should be shortened. What days? We're living in those days in real time. Those days, these days, should be shortened. There should no flesh be saved, but for the elect's sake, those days shall be shortened. Like we just mentioned, you see what Esau is trying to do with this world, this age. I can't say his age, because I mean it is his age in a sense, because the earth is given into the hands of the wicked for now. But you see where he's trying to take it, okay? And he's trying to go all the way with it, and it's just not going to happen, because Yahweh Shah is going to return and upset that prophecy or upset that idea of them taking over this planet, okay, by way of their digital means and all this kind of crazy stuff that they're trying to do. So, we'll leave it at that. I know there's many more things we could talk about according to Esau's technology, but that's why we do these AI chats. So there, as long as the spirit allows, there'll be many more of these to come. Okay, so as long as we're here, that is. All right, so we'll leave you edified. To next thing, I'm going to say shalom.